Beard Wonder here. Just wanted to say, sorry I haven't been making any videos lately. Unfortunately, due to health reasons and an ongoing workman's comp claim that I'm going through, it's made things, pretty difficult. It's made my life a living hell for the last year. But that's the main reason why I haven't been really doing many videos. Just haven't really been able to do it. A whole lot of things. Unfortunately, I had to go through knee surgery. It has now been a year, and unfortunately, still in the same spot I was. I went through surgery so I wouldn't have to wear that stupid brace, and unfortunately, I'm still stuck wearing it. But, it's made things really, really hard, and that's why I haven't really been doing much. I haven't done a whole lot of videos. However, though, I do plan on doing something this weekend. I want to get out there. I want to go do something. I did magnet fishing last weekend for a little bit with my 2-year-old. Didn't want to really tape with my kid. At least not yet. But, she's 2 years old. She'd be a pain in the butt. But, like I said, I just really haven't been able to do much. But today what I wanted to do is I actually wanted to do a couple reviews on a couple phones that I've picked up. Now, I don't know if, you guys are like I am. I know I love being outdoors. I go and do stuff. So I need to have a phone that is going to do what it says it's going to do. It's going to do, whatever I want it to do while I'm out, hiking or on a, quad or whatever. I picked up 2 days ago, I picked up the blackview bv8000pro, which is an IP68 phone. It's a rugged phone. It's supposed to be waterproof, shockproof, dustproof, pretty much life-proof. I picked it up. I got it 2 days ago, and the phone's doing great. It's fast. Everything works great. Everything's doing really good. However, I just had one issue today, which was my rear speaker on the phone. Just watching YouTube, and all of a sudden the speaker cut out and started crackling. So evidently it blew out the speaker. But the company's nice enough, they're going to send me a new phone, send this one back. Other than that little hiccup, though, love the phone. Everything works great. My fiance, she's got a Galaxy S8 Plus, and it doesn't do half the stuff this phone does, which is out of this world. I mean, it's a great phone. Now, the reason why I got this phone is because I actually had another rugged phone, which was the DeWalt, if you can see it, DeWalt md501, which is another rugged phone, and this is it. This was my other phone, and I've had this for months now. It was doing great. Everything was working fine. The only problem I had was the antenna wasn't really all that great on this phone. It just, for some reason, just would not get signal. I was missing calls and text messages and all kinds of stuff. I don't know if it was a software problem. I do know that the phone was running off a 6.0 Android, which is kind of old. It's not really up to date, which is probably why I was having so many issues with calls. I have Metro, which I've had for years and years and years. The only reason why I've had it is because, for the most part, I get signal just about everywhere. I also have hotspot and everything unlimited for $60 a month. You can't beat that with a stick, and I like the fact I don't have a contract, and I can put whatever phone I want on there. So it doesn't have to be one of their phones. But the DeWalt wasn't one of their phones. It's actually mainly used in construction sites, and it's kind of big over in Europe and China. Not so much here in the U.S., which is probably another reason why it didn't work so great on Metro. But the phone overall was a pretty good phone all the way up until last week, when it decided to take a swim in my toilet. It fell off of the windowsill and went right into the toilet, and it shut off, wouldn't turn back on for a day, and just recently, yesterday, it turned back on and hasn't given me any issues since. So I'm just going to keep it as a spare phone and use it, but if I need to. But I mean, like I said, it was an alright phone, but there were a couple issues with it. And you know, I mean, if you're someone who goes outdoors and you want something to take some abuse, and if you drop it, it's not going to break. You know, the phone does have Gorilla 3 glass on it, so it is not cracked. I've dropped it. It's fallen downstairs. Done a lot of things. And you know, like I said, all the way up until it fell in the toilet, it was working great. And now it seems to be working fine again. You know, but that's enough about that phone. That phone was, like I said, honestly, I wouldn't recommend buying the DeWalt phone. I mean, it's cool, it's DeWalt, but I wouldn't recommend it. I mean, not here in the States. It's just not, it's not all that great. However, though, the blackview bv8000pro, so far so good. I have voice over LTE, nonstop, 4G, full bars, no problem. Service works great on the phone. You know, everything works. The operating system works great, beautiful, fast, quick. I mean, everything opens, closes, everything it needs to do. Tons of storage. Like I said, it's got a 16 megapixel camera on the back. And it's just, it's crazy. I mean, the phone does a lot. It is currently running off of Android 7.0. Well, it's also got an 8 megapixel camera on the front, which is the one I'm using currently, which, I mean, if, you know, let me know what you guys think, if the video is, you know, decent. I do know that the phone also has 6 gigabytes of RAM, along with 64 gigabytes of ROM, and can take up to 128 gigabyte SD card on top of that, which is pretty crazy. The phone will have more than enough storage than you'll ever need, honestly. It also has a 4,180 milliamp battery, which so far so good. The battery's lasted me literally the entire day without charging it. I'm sure, and the sad part is I go on my phone constantly. I'm on watching videos, playing music. I use my phone a lot. And when I went to bed last night, my phone still had 50% battery, which is nuts. 50%. And that's after using it all day long. 50%. Now, there's a DeWalt, the battery, not so good. Well, I mean, okay, so I would get down to 1%, probably about 3/4 of the way through the day. But the cool thing is with the DeWalt, that phone will stay at 1% battery life for literally 3-4 hours with no problem, if not longer. It's wild. I don't understand how. I mean, if it says it's at 1% and it lasts 3 hours, I highly doubt it's at 1%. So I mean, the phone might be screwed up, but it's supposed to shut down a bunch of apps and stuff once it gets down to a certain point, so that way the phone will continue to work, because the phone is supposed to be so you can take it outdoors, have it last all day, and if something goes wrong, you have the phone. You know. And it also has, you know, SOS features. It does Morse, you know, the Morse code with the flashlight with the touch of a button. I mean, it was really, really cool. The bv8000pro does all the same stuff. Has all the outdoor tools for it. It has the same thing with the SOS camera. Another cool feature with the 8000 Pro is that there's a button on the side, like a quick button, and if you hold it down, it sends an SOS to an emergency contact that you set up, and it will literally send longitude, latitude, and it'll say, you know, whatever your message is, help me, you know, whatever you need. And the location on the phone, you know, satellite location, amazing. It has not lost signal anywhere I've gone. I go down to Little Egg Harbor every single weekend, and I have to go through a little town called Chatsworth. And as soon as you get to Chatsworth, signal ceased to exist on every phone that I've had. This one, I had a brief moment where it lost signal, but it came back. The DeWalt lost signal, wouldn't come back until I was down the camp, all the way in Little Egg Harbor. And my last phone, which I had, was it was actually called an Xcode M40 Y19, which is a huge phone, does a ton of stuff, fingerprint recognition. That's another thing. The 8000 Pro also has fingerprint recognition, which is really, really neat. You can lock your phone, don't have to worry about anybody snooping or getting into your phone and changing stuff. one thing I had to have. The DeWalt does not have that. But, you know, my phone before that was the M40, and I loved all the features that it had. The only issue I had is that the phone itself would lag up. It would cause some issues. Service wasn't all that great on it either. It was better than the DeWalt, but not by much. And the other problem was, too, is the phone was just too flimsy. I literally went through 3 of them. And the reason being is because the phone was so thin and it's aluminum backed. You'd put it in your pocket, you go to sit down, and the phone would literally bend in half. It would bend. It would bend in half, shatter the screen, and end of the phone. That was it. So the last one, same thing happened, and after the 3rd phone that the company sent me, they didn't want to send me another one. They claimed that it was out of warranty, even though we bought an extended warranty for it for 2 years, and I haven't had the phone for 2 years. But, you know, either way, that's why I didn't get the same phone again. But like I said, I mean, recommended, I would definitely go with the bv8000pro. You know, experience, I think that just overall, like system, everything worked great. Cameras are doing, you know, they're pretty good. They're not, you know, I mean, to me, I think they work pretty good. They have a bunch of different settings and features and stuff too, as well, for the camera. So you could change all your, you know, your lighting, and the phone actually will take pictures at night. Like, you're in a pitch black room, and it will take a picture like it's daylight. It's crazy. You know, but like I said, that's my, you know, opinion on the phones. You know, so far so good. I know that I will never go back to having just a regular phone or some fancy phone again. You know, I would like to stick to the IP68 phones, like I said, which is pretty much any rugged phone. They're certified IP68, and the reason being is because they're certified for waterproof, dustproof, shockproof, you know, whatever the case. The phone's supposed to be able to withstand a lot. You know, in order to get that certification. Now, I know there are some phones out there that say they're IP68, and, you know, unfortunately, they're not as good a quality. You know, you can go on Amazon and look them up, and there's tons of them. They're all, you know, jailbroken, unlocked, whatever. You know, you put them on any server, but they're any service you want. But like I said, you know, from all the reviews and what everybody else has said, and then my own personal, you know, opinion on the phone itself is, you know, so far a good phone, and, you know, honestly, I think it's a good buy. It was a little pricey. It was towards, you know, the $300 range. My DeWalt was only $125, which was, you know, that's pretty cheap for a phone, especially for an Android phone. Does a lot of stuff, you know, has everything you would need on it. The M40, the Xcode, was also only like $150. But it's a huge phone. I mean, absolutely huge phone. It's a 7-inch screen. It's just out of this world huge. But like I said, you know, I definitely would not be going with any other phone than a rugged phone probably ever again. Knowing what I know now with all the phones that I've had. And, you know, like I said, that's my opinion, my review on a couple of phones. Hopefully that helps anybody who's looking for, you know, a rugged phone. Like I said, would definitely recommend the blackview. And they also, there's a couple different models too. There's one that doesn't have as much RAM or ROM on it, and that one's a little bit cheaper, but it's like $20 cheaper. I mean, if you're gonna get a phone, spend the extra $20 and get it with the you know, more RAM and more ROM. It pays off. You know, the more RAM you have, the better the phone runs. It runs faster. You know, a lot more space. And then, like I said, you have, you know, the more ROM. I mean, you could store more photos, more videos. I got tongue-tied there. I'm sorry about that. More photos, videos, music, you know, whatever you want. You know, and like I said, for me, with all the stuff I do outside, I do a lot of stuff with my family. You know, I like having those moments on you know, on video or a picture. So it works great for me. I also listen to a lot of music. My phone's constantly playing music almost all day, which is you know, probably one of the reasons why the speaker already went on this phone. But other than that, like I said, great phone. You know, hopefully this helped you guys, and you know, in picking a new phone. You know, so that's it. That's all I got to say. And you know, guys, stay safe, and Beer Wonder out. Peace.